Hello there guys, welcome back to Reborn with Michael Watson. Today I'm talking about how I healed chronic pain that I had. I had chronic pain for 1.5 years. I'm going to tell you about the story and how I healed it. Before I do that guys, firstly, if you like Spirituality Simplified, consider giving me a subscribe. And if you want to join my free Facebook group, The Healing Circle, we have 1,400 members there now of wonderful like-minded people. Come join us. I talk on there, I do things, we share stories, we help each other. And also I have my VIP membership, that is Living Reborn membership, that's linked in the descriptions, where we go deeper and there's access to all courses and other things like that. Anyway, let's get into this video today guys. How did I heal chronic pain? Well, I suffered with chronic pain at one point. Those of you who don't know me, I was an actor in London and I had chronic throat pain. I'd been through a very, very stressful time in life. I did a podcast the other week, which I'll link actually in the description again. You can go check it out. And in that podcast, I talk about my whole story. Today's video, I don't want to go back into that story again because I want to really talk about what I did. But let's say this, I had a slight injury in my throat. When I was rehearsing for the show, because of the tension, I'd pulled a muscle. I'd worked through that, it started to release, but I just had chronic pain in my throat. So I would go to doctor after doctor. They'd look down, they'd say, I haven't seen a better throat in years. What's wrong then? What is wrong with me? They're saying, well, it's acid. Could it be acid reflux? Could it be this? They're trying to find a solution. What you'll recognize is doctors are meant to give you some solution, so they'll always look for one, and if they don't know what it is, they'll have a go-to, and some will say acid reflux, some will say anxiety, some will say this, they'll say things, they'll give you a reason, and that's their job, right? The truth is none of them could find the reason. The true reason of why I had the chronic pain is because I started to punish myself. I was angry at the way that I had responded to life, that I'd become weak, in a sense. I was angry that I was weak. I was angry that I was vulnerable. I was angry that I wasn't enjoying the best thing that ever happened to me of getting the role of my dreams. I was angry at myself. So what did I do? I was also guilty for some actions that I took. I felt guilt. I felt shame for some actions that I took that I won't go into. They're not big actions, they just weren't how I wanted to live. So I felt guilty. How many of you who are suffering with chronic pain have something you feel guilty about, are angry at yourself because of this situation and because of the past? How many of you are out there doing that? I realized I was punishing myself. I started to realize that what was going on here is that I was actually punishing myself. I was punishing myself because I was angry. I was angry at the way that I dealt with everything. So let's put it this way. What I would do every day is I would go to bed. I'd sleep quite soundly actually. But then I'd wake up in the morning. What would I do? I'd open my eyes. Oh, what is this new day? I'd start to check. I'd start to look through. Where is this? Is the pain there? Is it there? I would check in. I would actually, when I look back, I would not leave that bed until I recognised the pain in myself. I wouldn't leave the bed. Isn't that amazing? How many of us do that? We wake up in the morning, we want to check if we're in pain or not. This is what I started to recognise in myself. But here was the real kicker. I would not feel me unless I had the pain. I'd become so identified with having chronic pain that I didn't feel myself unless I found it. How many of us do that now? Comment down below, I tell you, if you do the same. I don't feel myself if I've got relief. But here's the thing that I started to recognise. When I'm asleep, I'm not in pain. Why? Why am I not in pain when I'm sleeping? Here's the key. Because I'm so relaxed. I've given over my body. I've given up my body to something else. So I started to sit with this concept. I give up my body. but I still couldn't really do anything about it. So I started to study more and more. I'd read all the classics, Biology of Belief, You Are the Placebo, Supernatural, the Bible, Joseph Murphy, Neville Goddard. I'd read them all. Now it was time to apply something. The interesting thing was, through that application, I went back to one of my voice coaches, because I'd finished the show, got through it with all this conflict, and I went to her and I said, I'm really struggling with my voice, just pain. And she did something to me, and I teach this as part of my spiritual practice now as well. She was a bit spiritual. She just said, shut your eyes. She said, sit and just observe the pain. Observe that sensation. And I sat with that sensation, I sat with it, and all I did was watch it. But after about 5 or 10 minutes, all this emotion started to come up. I just started to cry my eyes out, cried them out, and just a full release, pure, just cried my eyes out. All that pain, all that hurt, all that judgment, all that guilt, all that anger, I just let go of it in that moment. Now here's an interesting thing, guys, for all of you out there. You're going to say, well, in that moment I was healed. No, it was interesting. I walked away and I was like, wow, that was profound. And then what happened? I started to check in. The pain came back. It took me a few weeks after that release to finally let go of the pain. Because the emotion had left, it was able to leave me. But it was the habitual habit of pain that I couldn't let go of. It took me a few weeks after that. But it wasn't a lot of work after that. It was just the realization that it was going. So all I'm trying to say is, that was my experience, guys. Those of you who are in chronic pain, start to sit and observe that pain. What you'll start to know is that from all of my studies and everything, your pain is something that is created in the brain, not in the body. It's created in the brain to give us a warning system that there's something wrong there, so just be careful with it. Don't overdo it. It's a really helpful tool when we've got a hand over a flame. It's a helpful tool when we've got a broken ankle, we shouldn't walk on it. But what it doesn't factor in is the emotional aspect of pain. You see, we're so conscious now that we can observe something in our mind and feel a feeling towards it. If that feeling is long held, pushed down, not dealt with, it can manifest in many ways, physical and otherwise. What emotions are you holding on to? Ask yourself this. What emotions are you holding on to that are keeping you locked in pain? I hope you found this story helpful today, guys. Remember to give us a like, share and subscribe. Also, you can access my healing course where I talk about this, the healing factor, if this would be helpful to you. That is also linked in the description. I'll speak to you guys very soon. All the love in the world to you all. Take care.